Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation with the Center for the Future Work here at Cognizant. I want to thank you for joining me today. This week, I'm releasing a brand new report. This report is called Cutting Through Chaos in the Age of Mobile Me. Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation at the Center for the Future Work at Cognizant, and I want to thank you for joining us today. Now, I am honored to have as my guest Chris Perret, who's the CEO of a company with a very interesting and cool name called Nacho Cove. Don't forget that, Nacho Cove. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. Really glad to be speaking with you guys.
One thing I can tell you for sure, Chris has more opinions than just about anybody else in this whole conference. And this week we're at the conference M Enterprise here in Boston, Massachusetts. So Chris, I want to talk about digital transformation, and I want to talk about a concept called unevenly distributed. What I mean by unevenly distributed is that progress happens, but it doesn't happen to everybody on the same pace.
Right.
Progress, although it's happening everywhere, is unevenly distributed. And one of the areas that you're intimately familiar with as an expert is email.
Yes.
You know, email has transformed communication, but I wouldn't necessarily call it progress. What are your thoughts?
So, one of the things we've noticed as we looked at email is that the volume of messages or information packets, email is at the end of the day just information, has increased, and it's increasing at tremendous rates. What we're seeing right now, the average employee is getting between 150 to 200 emails per day. Power users are getting 600 emails a day. Now,
that means power email users, but nothing else.
That's right. Well, and they're decision makers, right? They're the people you rely on to run your business. So decisions are flying at them. They're having to communicate these things, and yet they're getting 600 emails per day. Now, think about that. If you take 30 seconds per email to look at it, understand it, not respond to it, just look at it and understand it, you've spent how many minutes?
That
would be 300 minutes. Okay, so 300 minutes. Now,
divided by 8.
Yeah,
so that's
there you
half
go.
your day.
That's over half your day if you read every one of those messages daily. Now, the volume is increasing. What does that mean for large enterprise? It means that over time, in your 8-hour day, potentially you could be spending 8 hours per day sorting through your emails.
And nobody's minding the business.
So as we look at this at Nacho Cove, what we thought about were two things. One was, look, as employees, every employee I know in any enterprise wants more time back in their day to do their job. They don't want time to read email. They want more time back in their day to be effective in their role, job, and function. And yet, because the cost of email communications has dropped tremendously, and you know, I'll share with you, right? Back in 1950, you didn't get emails; you got paper copies. Now, people,
CCs and BCs.
That's right, and they felt like they were drowning in all the paper, and there are lots of people making copies of pieces of paper. But at the end of the day, there is a limit to the amount of paper any one person could create because they had to actually write it out or type it out.
And the cost was there.
Exactly. Well, now, today, if you want to forward an email to 1,500 people in the company, it takes you less than 2 seconds. You hit forward all. And now your message has gone to 1,500 people. And if they all take 30 seconds, you've just wasted 750 minutes of the company's time.
And so you take 750 minutes by the average hourly wage, and that email that you just sent to everybody has a massive cost to the company.
That's right. But we do it unthinkingly, and we do it, and now we can do it when we're in our car.
Yeah.
Or actually, we shouldn't do it. It's illegal to do it in the car, but people do anyway. Right? We can do it when we're having dinner. We forward emails all the time. My personal pet peeve, I have 2 pet peeves, but I'll share with you one that I hate more than anything else.
I bet you have more than 2.
My personal email etiquette pet peeve is the forwarded email that says, "What do you think?" And it has a chain of 15 messages. And I get it.
What do you think about which one of the 15 messages?
Exactly. And so we have, because the cost has gotten so low, and we're oftentimes dealing with our messages on mobile devices, what we found is that communication has gotten much more inefficient rather than efficient. And there's things that have to happen. If we fast forward, nobody should be spending 4 hours a day sorting through email. That's not your job. Your job is to sell something, to build something, to make something, or to enable others to do the same.
Absolutely. So that's one pet peeve. Talk to me about 2.
Well, how many of you have sent an email? You sent it out, you said, "Guys, we need to think about what color we're going to paint the car." You sent it out to your team. You get about 3 responses, and there was a debate on whether it was going to be cobalt blue or regular blue. And then Joey CC is all of finance and says, "And we need to talk about the color of the cost of the tires that we're putting on this.
Oh,
we need to
different
choose it."
subject.
Yeah, you just got ejacked. You just got ejacked. Your email got hijacked and used for a different purpose.
Suddenly your color discussion is now a finance discussion.
It's a finance discussion about tires. You didn't get to resolution on your information. You got ejacked, sent down a different road, and you're going to have to either reconvene or wait or interact with large numbers of other people.
So Chris, you've just given all of our viewers and ourselves a dismal view of our reality, because it's a problem today.
It is.
Tell us, give us some insight, some glimmer of hope.
So at Nacho Cove, and actually in other companies as well, all of us have begun thinking about how can we use the power of AI to help. Look.
AI being?
Artificial intelligence. Here's the situation. At the end of the day, we're getting inundated with information. We get information from email. We get information from Chatter or Jabber or Jive or Skype or any of other side channels of digital communications. All of this communication is digital. It's information that we have to process and use to make decisions in our own personal job and function. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a virtual assistant, an artificial intelligently enabled virtual assistant that lifted the information that you care about and allowed you to make sense? Because do you know where your to-do list comes from?
Where?
85% of all large enterprise employees state that their to-do list, daily actions, come from email.
I know, and that's not even their stated deliverables and objectives.
But
they're just responding to somebody's questions.
They're responding to someone's questions, or something got hot, or there's other actions, or they're scheduling what they're going to do tomorrow based on. And so all of your activity is coming in you digitally, and yet, just think about this. I've got 600 email messages.
Yes.
And I spent 300 minutes sorting them.
Yes.
I didn't yet respond to any.
I'm still depressed.
Right? No, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Because it turns out that roughly 30% of those 600 email messages are the things that you have to see and respond to today.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not so bad.
It's 100.
It's not so bad, though.
Okay.
Right? Because, that might be you, and some people might only get 150. But the fact is that if you don't have to go through all 600, and you just had to read 100, some of them are quick responses, some of them are things you have to do, you'd be okay. Why can't your email client and your computer, your artificially intelligent enabled client, tell you? Well, that's what we're building at Nacho Cove. What we've decided to do is, look, let's give people back what they want in their day. What they want is time to do role, job, and function. What is the one thing we can do that'll help them more than anything else?
Right.
Let's highlight and float to the top those hot items, the hot ones they have to handle today. Now that we're not going to move things away from your inbox, we're not going to mess with inbox, because inbox also serves another priority, right? Your email
System of record.
It is your system of record, and it is your knowledge repository.
Yeah.
So what we want to be able to do is, and what employees want, is to be able to go to one place, see all the things that really matter, knock those things out. Then they can look at the other stuff and see what else is happening. There is no reason that can't be done. We're the first people really rolling something out that works baked in your email client, making it easy for you to do it on your, your mobile device, your desktop.
So, Chris, do you have to physically go in there, one at a time and configure? Or is there some machine learning where it looks at what you're doing with emails, who you like, who you don't like, what you read, what you don't read? How does it work?
So that's a really good question. And what we've done is we've made it all behind the scenes. The AI engine, we call it the brain. The brain learns from your behavior, learns from who you respond to, who you send email to, what is the emotional context or emotional semantic analysis of what you're typing and how you type it. You're angry, it turns out you type differently.
So what do you do with romantic emails I get from my wife?
I would put those in your hot list.
Very good.
So
I just want to know the rules.
But in point of fact, you would probably want to see also the non-romantic emails from your wife as well. She's somebody that would be in your almost your VIP list.
Yeah.
Right. That's somebody that no matter what they say, you want to see it. And then we have people in our lives that are that important.
Yeah.
But we also have other folks in our lives that transition. Our team members, we're on one team and then we go to another team. Typically, we want to not have to search for those team communications. One of my pet peeves about
see, you had more than two.
Yes. Well, one of the other ones is the concern. I'm in a customer-facing role.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I hate worse than having a customer email be missed, whether it's in my inbox of 600
right.
today, or to have one of our customer-facing folks miss an email.
So walk us through that scenario. How does the email system recognize somebody that's just spamming you from somebody that's now a hot lead?
Well, so really good question. And we plug it into your CRM system, whether your back-end system, and it's basically just a little connector.
So if there's a name in the CRM that's now showing up in your email, let's make it a high priority?
Exactly.
Wow.
Right. But let's do other things, right? Let's also ensure that when we send emails to people in our customer list, let's have the client, not ask the sales guy or the individual to add a rule to make sure it gets copied someplace. Let's make sure that information goes back into the CRM. Let's make it automatic. And quite frankly,
but that's the hardest part about any CRM is data input.
Right, because you're asking individuals to do something that is not in their view of things, not in the organization's view of things, but in their view of things, is not important to ensuring things move forward. When I send a quick note saying, "Hey Tom, how about we play golf?" I don't feel as an individual that I want to copy that into a database. But then we get into, then Tom sends back and says about that quote, I think I'd really like a 20% discount. And you say, sure. And all of that was in a conversation that you had. Well, if that conversation is not actually also included in your CRM database or other conversations, you could potentially end up with a SOX violation.
Wow.
Right? So
absolutely.
All right. So we have to ensure that for our user perspective, our brain is seamless. Doesn't require users to do something different, and yet materially makes their lives better and more productive because they get more time to focus on customers, to focus on their role, job, and tasks, to, quite frankly, not feel that they're on a treadmill drowning.
Right. So, I'm thinking in my mind here about the law of unintended consequences, where email is designed to improve productivity and communications and collaboration, all these good things, yet the law of unintended consequences says that also it could be your source of greatest inefficiency and time waste.
Absolutely. I mean, here's what I will posit for you. Right? I'd like you to think about this. If we continue on this pace of ever increasing volume of emails, and we require the individual to parse and look at every single one to decide which ones are important, which ones need to be actioned, so effectively to sort them. In 10 years' time, maybe 8 years' time, because information flow is increasing at an exponential rate, individuals will be receiving 600. The power users will be receiving 1,200 emails a day or more. We're going to find that without an effective enterprise communication strategy, large companies are going to drown and effectively grind to a halt just under the flow of their communication. So they have to do something different.
So you heard it here first or second or third. You heard his pet peeves from Chris, and you have a solution, Nacho Cove. Chris, thanks for sharing with us today.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, guys.